There are at least 3 ways to build most EDH decks.
Strong.
Fun. Fun. Fun.
And mean.
Let's look at the strong, fun, and mean ways that I would build Wilhelt the Rotcleaver. And the video starts right now.
Highest level of gratitude to our patrons who power the channel through Patreon. Check out the Patreon link in the description to learn about monthly giveaways, VIP Discord access, and even our official playmat.
Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. I am Joel. Let's take a look at how I would build Wilhelt the Zombie Commander. But before we get into it, if you would, hit that like button if you like the video by the end of it. Hit that dislike button if you don't. Let's get into the zombies. Wilhelt the Rotcleaver is a black and a blue and 2 other for a 3/3 zombie warrior. It does 2 things. It makes zombie tokens and it draws cards with those zombie tokens. Whenever another zombie you control dies, if it didn't have Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Decayed means it can't block, and if it attacks, you have to sack it at the end of combat. At the beginning of your end step, though, you get to sacrifice a zombie, and that's a may. But if you do, you get to draw a card. Creature decks, tribal decks, they tend to run out of velocity. You tend to stop drawing cards if you don't have enough card draw built into it. Tend to run out of a hand, play all your stuff onto the board, it gets board wiped. Wilhelt keeps that from happening, or at least helps, contributes to your velocity being maintained across the course of a game. Plus, it creates tokens. We can do a lot with tokens. Tokens, in my opinion, are some of the best ways to get an aggressive strategy going because you're not definitely committing 1 card to get 1 creature. You may hopefully are getting 2 for 1s, multiples for 1, and Wilhelt helps you do that. So for the strong way, I want to go into the zombie aggressive strategy with zombie tokens specifically. We're going to prioritize things that create tokens so that we can constantly and consistently refill our board position after some kind of board wipe or removal thing happening. For our fun way, we're going hands across the multiverse. Wilhelt the Rotcleaver's got his power hand. Got the power hand, baby. That's what we're going to lean into, and we are going to build an entire deck out of cards that feature prominently in their art power hands. We're also going to build it a mean way, and we're going to go Aristocrats. It seems a little on the nose, maybe a little boring. However, it's a strong strategy. It's a mean strategy, and you want to create creature tokens with that strategy, and then hopefully get things for those creature tokens being sacrificed. Wilhelt lets us do both of those. We can create tokens with our commander, and it's a sacrifice outlet that also helps us maintain our velocity. Let's look at the strong way to build this. For the strong way, Liliana's Mastery completely encapsulates what we want to do. This is a nice little 2 creatures for 1 card, and it's an anthem that sticks around after that, so we grow our line while growing our line. Hey, got him. Liliana's Mastery represents perfectly what we want to do. Create creature tokens. Make those tokens bigger, attack with those tokens. Eternal Skylord, we're creating a 2/2 as soon as it enters the battlefield, a 2/2 zombie, and it gives all of the zombie tokens that we create, regardless of if they have Decayed or not, it gives them flying. So when they do attack, if they do attack, we are getting across, we are getting over in the air, because they can't block all of our flying zombies. A little terrifying, but it's true, because of Eternal Skylord. Big help in this deck. Headless Rider. We talked about velocity, contributing to maintaining our velocity. Let's get some more contributions from that. This is from Crimson Vow, a black and 2 other for a 3/1. Whenever it or another non-token zombie you control dies, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So it's replacing your zombies that are cards, the ones that you are playing, not creating through a token generator. It's replacing those with tokens if they die. It's fantastic. It's a great way to get back after a board wipe. Board wipe wipes off Headless Rider and all of our other zombie cards. It counts those zombie cards. They die. We create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, and we are able to maintain a board position after some kind of gigantic wipe. Dreadhorde Invasion sort of lets us do the same thing, because at the beginning of each of our upkeep, we're either going to create a 1/1 zombie, or our 1/1 zombie that we've created, the black zombie army creature token, specifically army creature token, that one's going to grow by +1/+1. And if somehow we get a zombie token up to power 6 and it attacks, it gains lifelink and we get a little of that life back. Mostly I'm concerned with this always maintaining our board position, always having a zombie that we can do whatever we need to do and get our synergies rolling, hopefully draw cards, replay Wilhelt. We've already got a zombie we can sacrifice. That's the kind of thing that we want to be able to do. Endless Ranks of the Dead is a huge way to maintain our board. 4-cost enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. You put X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is half the number of zombies you control rounded down. Exponential growth of our attacking line consistently until this is answered. Fantastic card. Really love it in a aggressive zombie token strategy. Poppet Stitcher comes at it from a little different angle. We create a 2/2 black zombie creature token also with Decayed on every cast of an instant or sorcery, so you could get multiple in the same turn. Then once we have 3 or more creature tokens at the beginning of our upkeep, we are allowed to have the choice to transform Poppet Stitcher into Poppet Factory. That makes all of our creature tokens lose all abilities, which includes Decayed. So now our creature tokens don't have to be sacked if we attack with them if they had Decayed. It also makes all the base power and toughness of our creature tokens 3/3, so it grows them all by a power and a toughness. You can also transform it back if you just want to get back to creating zombie tokens on your spell casts. Poppet Factory is a fantastic way to suddenly make our attacking line very brutal to handle and permanent, or at least a little more permanent than if they had Decayed. Diregraph Colossus. Here's a zombie card that you would want to play straight up, but it allows you to create more tokens. The ETBs, and you get a +1/+1 counter on it for each zombie card in your graveyard. It's already pretty good. There's going to be some graveyard synergy in a deck like this. You're going to be able to reanimate stuff, put it straight into the graveyard from your library. Tricks like that. And then whenever you cast a zombie spell, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Boom. We're creating zombie tokens, baby. Cemetery Reaper. So eventually we're going to want to have some payoffs. Just like Liliana's Mastery, if we've got multiple ways to give our attacking line an anthem, a +1/+1, somehow across the game, that is going to contribute to a big attacking line. Cemetery Reaper helps with that, and you can pay 3 tap it to exile a creature card from any graveyard that can target your opponents too and get their little, neato trick that they've got in their graveyard, get it out of here. As long as it's a creature. And then you put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, so it also creates more tokens. Diregraph Captain. Here's another anthem. Other zombie creatures you control get +1/+1. And that bottom ability. Whenever another zombie you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life. We're creating a lot of tokens, and that's very good to have them also losing life when our stuff dies, because that's another zombie you control, not non-token, like some of the other cards have said. We'll talk about this card again when we get to Aristocrats for the mean strategy, because it kind of crosses over there. But this is a really good strategy for building an aggressive zombie deck. Fill them up with tokens and swing out. We're talking about power hands. A deck of power hands. I don't know what that song was. Arcane Signet. It's got a power hand. It's a fantastic card. I thought of this strategy, thought of this theme for the deck as a joke for the fun section of this video, and I started looking up cards that had hands in the art, prominently featured power hands in the art. I was like, wow, there's a lot of really good choices actually. This could be a decent strategy, and also have a nice little goof, have a nice little laugh with your buds. Arcane Signet, definitely run it in here. Sky Diamond, it's a black and blue deck. It's got a power hand, and we need a little ramp because it's black and blue. Let's go. Charcoal Diamond as well. Hello, power hand. How are you doing? The power hand waves because the hand is full of power. Counterspell. Make sure you get the Mark Pool art. Power hand. Whoops. Lack of power hand. That's because our power hand shut off their power hand. We know how it works. Get the Mark Pool art. You got a power hand counterspell. Mystical Tutor. Prominently featured hand art on a fantastic card. Yes, please. I think we will also run Vampiric Tutor. It's kind of hidden, but that's a power hand. That is a power hand. Look closely. It's holding a skull, but it's a powerful hand. I promise. Read the bones. Throw those bones with the power hand, baby. See how good? So many good cards. Entomb. Are you serious? Grr, power hand. Get that Seb McKinnon Entomb, baby. That's how you know you got a power hand for the Wilhelt the Rotcleaver power hand deck. Don't think about it too hard. Just do it. Defile. Trying to use the last power left in its hand to survive. Spoiler alert, it won't, because our power hand is stronger. And look, what's more powerful than one power hand? Oh my god. For the mean way Aristocrats, I told you we'd get back to Diregraph Captain because that's where I want to start. Aristocrats, if you're not familiar, is a strategy where you have a lot of little creature tokens that are seemingly meaningless, but if we sacrifice them or have them die, we get some effect. It mostly centers around an effect like that bottom group of text on Diregraph Captain. Whenever another zombie you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life. The strategy prominently features and most typically features cards like Blood Artist. Target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's sort of the Aristocrat's build, is it or another creature dies, target player loses a life, you gain a life. It gets even stronger when it says each opponent on it. Whenever Zulaport Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain 1 life. If you stack effects like this over the course of the game, it will bleed your opponents out slowly. And this is just another way of getting value off your zombie tokens. If they're dying because you're attacking, that's also a way to get them to die. You can also build in sacrifice outlets like you'll see. That bottom group of text on Plague Belcher, whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So we specifically have Aristocrats cards that specifically deal with zombies. Plague Belcher's fantastic for this strategy. A card like Phyrexian Altar is going to allow you to sacrifice creatures at will. Once you get multiple ways, like Diregraph Captain, Blood Artist, Zulaport Cutthroat, multiple ways of getting value from your creatures dying, you may just want to like wipe the whole board. Phyrexian Altar is perfect in this deck. It sort of sums up what you want with this strategy. Wilhelt already sort of exemplifies it. Create tokens, have those tokens die for value. We want to stack multiple ways of Blood Artisting so that we're draining our opponents. We're drawing cards off of Wilhelt. We want that at-will sacrifice outlet too. We've got more specific zombie ones as well. Undead Augur, when it or another zombie you control dies, you draw a card and lose a life. So like Wilhelt, we can also take advantage of our cards dying, of our creature tokens dying, with other cards like Undead Augur. It doesn't have to be just drain. We can also get some value. Like Eloise, whenever another creature you control dies, investigate, so we get a clue token on the battlefield. Every time a creature, another creature we control dies. It doesn't have to be a token, it can't be a non-token, you know what I'm saying? And if you do sacrifice a token, which Wilhelt counts for that, cards like our Undead Augur thing did, whenever you sacrifice a token, you get to surveil 1. Even more value off the death of our own creatures, and that's pretty much what the Aristocrat strategy is about. Fantastic zombie commander. Let me know down below how you built your Wilhelt deck, what little flourishes you've got in there. And hey, look, if you've got any other hands across the multiverse, power hands that belong in the Wilhelt deck, let me know. Other than that, hit that like button if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button if you like our channel. Tapped out. Other than that, and I'll catch you later.